Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. All praise be to Allah. We seek His help and His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah from our own bad deeds and from the evil of our own souls. Whomsoever Allah guides, no one can lead astray. And whomsoever Allah leads astray, no one can guide. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, the One, having no partner, and that Rasulullah ﷺ is a slave and final messenger. O you who believe, fear Allah as He should be feared, and die not except in a state of Islam. O mankind, be dutiful to your Lord, who created you from a single person, and from Him He created His wife, and from them both He created many men and women. And fear Allah through whom you demand your mutual rights, and do not cut the relationship of family. Surely Allah is always watching over you. O you who believe, keep your duty to Allah and fear Him, and always speak the truth. Inshallah, as of now, we are about 13 days, 5 hours, and about 30 minutes or so from the end of Ramadan. From the end of this beautiful month that has felt like it has just flown by. We await this month the entire year, and we anticipate it, and we plan for it, and we hope to perform during it. and now it is more than half over. But what does that mean? That arises a new opportunity for us during this time. Because we are about to enter the most coveted days of the most coveted month of the entire year. And that is the last 10 days and the last 10 nights of Ramadan. Because we know that during the last 10 nights of Ramadan, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would exert himself even more so during these last few nights. And he already used to exert himself a lot during the month of Ramadan. He used to pray more than he normally would. He was more generous than he was normally, even if that is possible. He would seek good deeds out more. He would help his community more. And during the last 10 nights, that would go into overdrive. Especially the amount of time he spent in the masjid, he would do i'tikaf. He would reside in solitude in the masjid. And he would increase in his generosity. And he would further increase in the amount that he stayed up and prayed every night and connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and asked for forgiveness. And we know from a hadith Qudsi where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that every good deed of the son of Adam is for him except for fasting. That is for me and I shall reward for it. Meaning that all the good deeds that we do, all the obligations that we have towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and in our deen, ultimately first benefit us before anybody else. But fasting, that is one deed that is kept for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That seems to have very little benefit if we think about it, because we are just depriving ourselves of food and water. But that is why it is such a beautiful deed for Allah. And that's why Allah rewards immensely for it over and over again. And we continuously hear about the benefit and the virtue and the barakah of Ramadan, and we can feel it. So what is our main goal this Ramadan? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةِ الْقَدْرِ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ تَنَزَّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ وَالرُّوحُ فِيهَا بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِمْ مِنْ كُلِّ أَمْرٍ سَلَامٌ هِيَ حَتَّى مَطْلَعِ الْفَجْرِ. Indeed, we sent the Quran down on the night of decree. And what can make you know what is the night of decree? The night of decree is better than 1,000 months. The angels and the Spirit descend therein by permission from their Lord for every matter. Peace it is until the emergence of dawn. We have a hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Sahih Bukhari. Search for the night of Qadr in the odd nights of the last 10 days of Ramadan. And another from Bukhari. Whoever stands in prayer in the nights of Ramadan out of faith and seeking reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his previous sins will be forgiven. And whoever spends the night of Laylatul Qadr in prayer out of faith and seeking reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his previous sins will be forgiven. That is our goal for the last 10 nights. That is what we are planning for the rest of Ramadan. It is to achieve all of the blessings and the beautiful virtue and the endless and boundless rewards promised by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during these last 10 nights, during every one of these last 10 nights, but most importantly, the night of Laylatul Qadr. And since we are told that it is in one of the odd nights throughout the last 10 nights of Ramadan, we can treat every night like it is a potential Laylatul Qadr, because we do not truly know what night it is. And do we understand the tremendousness of this reward, of this blessing? More than 1,000 months of worship. That is more than 83 years. That is a lifetime's worth of worship that we are just being given for a little bit of extra effort. Now, we have to understand how this Ramadan has been going for us. We may have had different plans and different goals, and we may have fallen short on them. But that is not to despair or think that we have let ourselves go this Ramadan. No. We have a great opportunity in these last 10 nights So this is where we revisit the goals that we have set, and we figure out how can we take advantage of this blessed and opportunistic time that we have. So first and foremost, these are some actions that we can take and what we can do to make sure that we do not squander this time. The first being, reflect on the sins that we have been committing during this Ramadan. Every one of us sins. And we may even be doing consistent major sins during Ramadan. Most likely less than normal because of the reduced influence of the shayateen. But we still sin. We are not perfect. And that is one of the better actions we can take during these last 10 days. That we reflect on what sins are we committing? What sins are we prone to? And how can we stop them? Because right now we are giving up our most cardinal, our most instinctual, our most primal desires by staying away from food and water, our very life source. So it is easier right now. We have less of an influence from shayateen. We are already training in keeping away from our desires. It is easier right now for us to stay away from that sin. So let's jump on the opportunity right now so that it may carry us beyond Ramadan as well. And in turn with that, our bad habits. How can we stop our bad habits? Rasulullah ﷺ tells us in one of the hadith narrated in the 40 of Imam al-Nawawi, لا تغضب. لا تغضب. Do not get angry. For us to control our anger. And that's one of the main things and main goals that we have every single year for Ramadan. Let's revisit that. Increase ourselves in our patience in all of our dealings with our family, with our friends, with our co-workers, with our classmates, whoever it may be, especially with the person that frustrates you the most. Have control over our emotions, especially while we are fasting. Let's not ruin and taint and diminish our fasts during Ramadan, especially the last 10 nights when we need it to be the best that it can be. So let's go over those bad habits that we may have, those tendencies that we may have, and reflect on those along with any bad deeds that we may be doing so that we can put an end to it and carry it out after Ramadan as well. And with that as well, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had the best of character, the best of akhlaq. Let's see what practices and what characteristics that can we imbue into ourselves during this time as well. Let's pick up something. Whoever revives a sunnah during this time of great jahiliyyah, of great ignorance and misguidance, receives a mountainous award. What better time to start that practice than now? Revive a sunnah. There is a sunnah of putting in your right foot before your right foot into your right shoe first and saying Bismillah. That is a sunnah that we can revive. What an easy sunnah. We wear our shoes anyway. But here we can get something with consistency that will give us so much reward. So let's find a practice that we can do that is easy for us to start, that we can be consistent with, and a characteristic of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that we want to get into ourselves and carry on with it so that we have the best of character these last 10 nights. Now, I've been talking about ways that we can change our character and our essence. What are some practical, tangible, delineated good deeds that we can do? The first being that this is Shahr Tawbah, the month of Tawbah. And the last 10 nights, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is wanting to forgive. Doing everything to make it easy for us to achieve forgiveness. There's a set of 3 hadith, 2 of which I've already told you. But I will remind you again because وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَ تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Reminder is beneficial for the believer. And they are that if someone goes throughout Ramadan and fasts properly, they will achieve the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the other 2 which I just read, if one person prays throughout the night in Ramadan, they will achieve the forgiveness of Allah. And if one person prays throughout the night during Laylatul Qadr, they will achieve the forgiveness of Allah. We have all these opportunities. If we do fast properly, we get that forgiveness. But say we are deficient in that. If we come and pray at night, we come to Tarawih consistently, we pray at night before suhoor, pray some tahajjud, we get that forgiveness as well. But say we also have been falling short on that. Now we still have Laylatul Qadr. We have so many different opportunities to get that forgiveness. So let's not waste it. So continue to make tawbah, make dua to Allah, and beg for forgiveness. Get close to Him. We have been given a very beautiful dua, which is specific towards Ramadan as well. Allahumma innaka afuwan tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. Oh Allah, you are forgiving, and you love to forgive, so forgive us. Continuously make this dua. Have it wet your tongue throughout the entire last 10 nights and beyond as well, so that Allah may make us amongst the ones that He has promised salvation from the hellfire. Because He takes out so many believers and marks them for salvation from the hellfire so that the hellfire can never touch them. How lucky we would be to be amongst those, and how doable it is. So we must make that sincere effort. And we must increase ourselves in our sadaqah, our generosity. It has never been easier than it is now. We have so many great organizations that help with those facing the earthquakes in Syria and Turkey, all the oppression going on in Palestine and Gaza that we can help donate to. All across the world, floods, natural disasters, oppression, people suffering from not having basic needs in Pakistan, India, Yemen, all across the world. And there's different organizations that run them. Baytul Mal, Helping Hand, Islamic Relief, Launch Good, all these different examples, and there's so many more. What they do now is that if we go on their website, they have all these different options. And you can automate your donation, that if you donate $50, they will do $5 every night for the last 10 nights. How easy is it now? That someone on our behalf is making sure that we have our reward spread out for all the last 10 nights. And if we donate a small amount every night, and we get Laylatul Qadr, it is as if we donated every night for 83 years plus. So we have no excuse. Just takes 3 to 5 minutes of our time to set it up, but let's not delay. Set it up now to make sure that we are not procrastinating and we realize that it's already the 25th night and we haven't set up anything. And while we have set that aside, we don't have to worry about it, and the rewards are accumulating for us. And on top of that, to this masjid, to all the different masajid that we have, all the different centers and good causes, locally, nationally and internationally, there is always someone in need, and we can continue to give that. As well as sincere dua these last 10 nights. Have we been taking our time to turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and supplicate to Him and beg Him for everything our heart yearns for and desires? Every little thing for this dunya and the akhirah. Allah is there to listen. And we understand that when there is a khatm al-Quran, a completion of the recitation of the Quran, there is a greater likelihood of our du'as being answered and accepted. And let's strive to have our own personal khatams and plan for that. Give yourself ample time to plan for dua. Write them down. Make sure we have a plan so that we can sit at night at the tahajjud and we have a plan and we know what dua we're going to make. We're not wasting our time. And if we are unable to have our own khatams or want to have more, so many masajid in the area are having khatams that we can attend and gain the benefit from and have a beautiful community dua as well. April 17th to here, the 27th night at ICGC we have one. The next night at Mason, the 28th. And the following night, the 29th, in Clifton and in downtown Cincinnati, Masjid al-Ashab and Ihsan. So many opportunities to achieve these khatam and these blessed moments where we can have our dua accepted. So let's not waste it. Take out time every day. And in that as well, Quran. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. Subhanallah. Ramadan is the month of the Quran, so we need to make sure that we are reading it. If we feel like we have not been reaching our goals this Ramadan in relation to Quran, let's not wait any longer. Especially the last 10 nights. Strive to learn and push ourselves to read as much Quran as possible. Every line, every letter is packed with so much reward, especially if it's on the night of Laylatul Qadr. Listen to lectures, listen to recitation, listen to tafsir, sit in ourselves and reflect and ponder. Whatever way we can connect with it, we must take out time to do so. And lastly, just to reiterate that we do not want to waste our time during these last 10 nights. These are precious seconds that are worth much more than our regular day-to-day affairs. So we don't want to waste them. Set aside time. Resist the temptation just for a little bit. A reminder for myself first and foremost, and then for everyone. Limit our time on social media, television, and any other distractors that we may be having. Sleep a little less. Pray a little more. Because this time does not come back, and we are not guaranteed to see it next year. So let's all set these goals and plan for it. We have a few days before the last 10 nights start. Plan for it. Get our ducks in a row. Have our donations that we once set. Make a plan for what Quran we want to read. Which days we can stay up and how much we want to stay up. Where we will attend Taraweeh. What khatams we will attend. How much Quran we will read every day. Make a plan for it. Because those who fail to plan, those who plan to fail to plan. And it is in our prophetic tradition to plan. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله ولكم. Invoke your Lord for forgiveness. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. We have heard about the blessings and the barakah that comes with Ramadan. But I want to use a couple of narrations and finish off with them just to reiterate that. There's a famous one that many of us may have heard before about two Sahabi who accepted Islam very close in time to each other, perhaps at the same time. And they lived lives that were very similar in terms of their worship, of their ibadah, in terms of their devotion to the deen, to Rasulullah ﷺ and the religion in general. One Sahabi passed away in battle as a shaheed, as a martyr. And the other one passed away due to natural causes a year later. Talha bin Ubaidullah radiallahu anh saw in a dream that the second Sahabi, the one who passed away a year later, was entering Jannah before the first Sahabi, who passed away in battle with the status of shaheed. And he was very confused, so he went to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And his confusion was rightfully so, because the status of a shaheed is that is unmatched. That all of their sins are forgiven. That every single drop of blood that touches the ground is greatly beloved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That they will be risen with a crown for which every pearl is greater in weight than that of the heavens and the earth and everything in it. They have the greatest honor and reverence on the day of judgment. And they have a boundless reward in the akhirah. It is the greatest honor that one can have. So he was confused as to how someone who didn't have that honor get to enter Jannah before him. And Rasulullah ﷺ said that the difference between them is greater than that of the heavens and the earth, because the second Sahabi experienced one more Ramadan than the first one. And he observed it properly and did not waste it and took advantage of the opportunity. And it goes to show how blessed this month is, how much it can change the trajectory of our life and our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we must not squander it. There's another narration where the story being more or less that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was walking up the minbar and he said Ameen for every step that he took, which was 3 steps. The Sahaba later asked him, why did you say Ameen? And he said, the angel Jibreel alayhi salam was making dua for each step that he took, and he was saying Ameen to it. And one of them was that for the person who gets to Ramadan and does not experience the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let them be thrown into the hellfire. And our Prophet ﷺ said, Ameen. Which goes to show that it is easy for us to obtain forgiveness with a little bit of effort and sincerity. So we are among the ultimate losers if we don't. So let's plan to increase ourselves in our sadaqah, our Quran, our prayer at night, our dua, and focus on the good habits and that we can inculcate into our own lives, and the bad ones and sins that we can take away. I pray that Allah makes us amongst the ones who do not squander this opportunity and utilize it to the best of our ability. And I pray that Allah makes us amongst the ones who come into this Ramadan, who come out of it much better than we came into it. And I pray that He makes us amongst the ones who all have our names written as those who have salvation from the hellfire, and we all achieve the great reward of Laylatul Qadr. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك فإنه لا يذل من واليت ولا يعز من عاديت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. إقام الصلاة. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداع إذا دعاني فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.